Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of The Walk Around. Grab some popcorn, get some drinks, and enjoy the show. Alrighty, what's up guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of The Walk Around. If I'm not mistaken guys, we got mixed up somewhere along the line, but I'm pretty sure this is episode 8 of season 2, and finally we get into the good stuff. Well, the good stuff in my opinion. Guys, this is one of the, if not the cleanest K7 I have ever seen. For those of you wondering, if you ever hear someone being like, oh yeah, it's a K5 or a K6 or a K7, that's normally your year models. Well, it is your year models. So a lot of people call this a K7 750. However, in normal person language, that just means that it's a 2007 model. However, this one, Maniki, this one's registered 2013. Okay, so a year model is 2007, registered 2013. So obviously it makes it a little bit easier when it comes to finance and that sort of stuff. But the year model of the bike is a 2007. And as I said, guys, this thing is crazy clean. Like, just you're looking at these casings here. This is all original paint. This thing has not been dropped. I don't think this thing has even come close to being dropped. You do have your bobbins here, again both sides, no damage whatsoever. Foot pegs are still stock foot pegs with no damage. Same with the rear sets, same with the bar ends. These aren't obviously stock, but there's zero damage to them. So guys, as I said, this is probably the cleanest K7 I've ever seen. Since I've been in the bike industry now, so yeah, it's a good few years. I'd say about 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. But even in general, like a K7, this thing is crazy clean, guys. So as we always do, guys, we're just gonna have a look at some of the modifications slash things that I just want to bring your attention to, and then following that we'll have a look at some damage or a little bit of rust here and there. Like you guys would see, the headers are a bit rusted. And then following that, I can give you guys a little bit of an idea in terms of how this thing rides, because I have ridden 600, 750 and the 1000. So I've got a good idea of what these things feel like, how they ride. The 750 I tested last was actually a model 2012. The 1000 I tested was a 15, and the 600, if I'm not mistaken, was about a 07 or 08. So something like that. But yeah, nonetheless guys, let's just jump straight into it. And I mean, first thing you guys will see right off of the bat, you've got some nice aftermarket grips over here. I do see a lot of these with the metal. Personally, I'm not too crazy about it, but I know a lot of people actually like this and they like the way it feels. So yeah, love it or hate it, it's there. And then as you guys would have seen, as I mentioned, you've got your nice little bar ends. So that's just going to provide some protection. But ultimately what is going to be giving you the most protection is this little goodie over here called a crash bobbin. So if you drop your bike, it's going to take all of the damage, and yeah, the rest of the bike should be all snazzy. Absolute no-brainer. Doesn't get better than adjustable shorty levers. Best thing you can do to a bike. Then you guys will see up front here, we've got a little aftermarket windscreen going on there. It's not quite a double bubble, but it is a bubble. And obviously you'll see that's just got a nice greenish tint to it, also with some nice green bolts over here. Actually complements it quite nicely. And then yeah, we've also got the headlight protector, which pops off here. And in my opinion, look at that. I don't know, I think it looks so much better without this. But yeah, as you guys can see, this is still in pristine condition, and that's purely because of this little thingy-mabobby majiggy. Literally the only purpose it serves is to protect that front light, but it also does add a little bit of a tint to your headlight. But yeah, I think it's a nice thing, I must say. Keeps it looking nice and snazzy underneath, but in my personal opinion, it actually looks a little bit better without it. You guys will see we've got some nice simple rim tape over there. Again, just kind of incorporating the green here and there, just kind of bringing it all together. Then one of the most common exhausts you guys will see here in South Africa is a Stealth Performance exhaust. I said South Africa very weirdly, apologies for that, my fellow South Africans. But yeah, Stealth Performance exhaust. There is another one, what's it called? Stealth Performance Dominator exhausts. So Stealth Performance exhausts and Dominator exhausts, very similar. It's actually two brothers who own both the companies, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, some of the best custom pipes, if not the best custom pipes you guys are going to get in the country. So very common pipes to see on the bikes. In my opinion, it's much better to go for something like this, which is a custom built. rather than going for the likes of a replica. But yeah, at the end of the day, each to their own. But yeah, I've got a custom racing pipe on my personal bike made by Stealth Performance, and yeah, sounds brilliant, works brilliant, and yeah, nothing but good things to say about it. So if you guys want an exhaust, go check out Stealth Performance, or Dominator actually did all of the welding on my exhaust when I did my changing, and really I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, I've had work by both of them, and both times it's been really good work. So yeah, just above that you guys will see, I don't know if this thing has been ramped. No, it's been hydro dipped. Yeah, hydro dipped. Rear fender there. I'm not crazy about it, but again, it just kind of ties in with all the green and stuff. It is like a little bit of a carbon fiber-esque design, but yeah, looks pretty snazzy if you ask me. And then a pretty common one, but for me it's an absolute must. Your rear stand pins for maintenance, chain maintenance, servicing, all sorts of stuff, guys. Just get yourself some rear pins and you can pop it up on the rear stand. You guys will see it. Just the bike presents so much better, looks so much better. Chain and sprockets is looking absolutely fabulous, boys. I mean, look at that. It looks new basically. So yeah, super nice to have that on the bike. There's just a lot of stock parts on this bike, which is, it's a very green flag. I see these are like slightly adjustable, so you can actually bring these pins and actually put them there, and it'll bring all of this a little bit higher up. So that's quite cool. Obviously, if you just want a little bit more of an aggressive riding position, that's what that's going to do for you. And then yeah, guys, that's about it. Nothing too crazy, just the perfect amount of mods in my opinion. We are going to reupholster this seat. It is something that we're going to do. However, we're just uploading the bike, getting it up just so that we can get it up on the market. So yeah, that's definitely something that we're going to do. Then you'll see here at the back, I really don't know what happened here. Must have been a backpack or something, just scratching along here on the fairing. So yeah, unfortunately guys, there's not much that we can actually do about that. Then I did see on this side of your swing arm, it's just some damage over here, some scuffing. Guys, all that is from is chain maintenance and stuff, and using this rear stand over and over again, it is something that will happen. It's actually kind of unavoidable, unfortunately. Unless you've got your rear stand set absolutely perfectly, yeah, it's really unavoidable in all honesty, guys. As I said, chain and sprockets, we are very much so in good condition. There's no scratches, no scuffs, nothing to casings or anything like that on this side. There's no oil leaks, nothing like that. One of the things that is actually nice that a lot of people actually don't know about is the regulator relocation. Now, you might be wondering, why is that there? Why is it not normally at the back of the bike where it usually is? So guys, it is one of the things that I ran into on my personal bike, and you have to relocate your regulator purely because they don't get enough airflow, and then they get hot, and then they stop doing their job, and then they cause problems with your stator, obviously your regulator, even up towards your battery. So I know it doesn't look great, guys, but it has to be there just so that it can actually work and function the way it needs to. And then you'll see just next to it, we've got the hooter. The only other thing I can say is just a little bit of sun damage here on the front on these forks, the fork holders, and then just that little bit of rust there on the headers. Otherwise, guys, we are looking absolutely snazzy. I would snatch this thing up in a second, an absolute second. I'll take it right back. Yeah, no man, these things are absolutely beautiful. Now guys, before I start this, just want to give you guys a little bit of an idea in terms of performance and what to expect. So in my opinion, this is arguably the perfect middle ground bike. Let's say you like the maneuverability of a 600, but it's just not fast enough for you. This is the bike for you. Let's say you like your 1000, the speed is there, it's just a little bit heavy for you. 750. The handling between a 600 and a 1000, surprisingly enough, guys, I found it to be very similar. And there's only one issue with these Suzukis, and that is that when you are starting to dive into that corner, well, not even yet diving, when you're starting to get into that corner, there's a lot of pressure that needs to be applied on those handlebars just to get it to kind of dive into that corner and sit nicely. Obviously, tires can play a role. However, I rode a 2015 GSX-R 1000 with Diablo courses on it, track tires, and it still gave me the same issue. So I've had a lot of people come to me and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, You know, guys, I'm not, I don't benefit by down talking this bike. You know, that's the reality. It doesn't benefit me to say this thing doesn't corner nicely. So why would I say it if I don't feel like that's true? One of the things I can say about the 750, which I prefer, well, which makes me kind of prefer it over the 600 and the 1000, is that the power actually kicks a little bit sooner for me. I found that the 600 and the 1000, actually the 600 was a little bit better. The 600 kicked a little bit earlier, but 1000 really, guys, it kicked in quite late. And it makes sense. It makes sense. If you want a bike that's power is kicking super early in those revs, go and get yourself a naked bike. That's it at the end of the day. So yes, I'm not complaining, but I'm saying that if the power doesn't kick early, you know, that's purely because someone like me, I prefer my naked bike. So that's just something that comes with sport bikes. Obviously you can go and tune it, get a little bit more power in that low end, but ultimately these bikes are made to be ridden in those high revs, flying around a track at whatever, let's say nothing below 10,000 RPMs. That's where your power is. So if you're riding this thing correctly, you're going to constantly have power. But let's say traffic light to traffic light, that power isn't really there when you're going to compare it to the likes of an MT-09 or 675 or 765. So yeah, just bear that in mind. If you're looking for that low end torque, that power, maybe start looking at the nakeds first. If those don't appeal to you, then come back to a sport. But if you're looking for that high-end power, guys, this is where it's at. In my opinion, you know, as I said, I've ridden the R6, the 636, the CBR 600, the 675s. In my opinion, if I was to get a sport bike, for track or daily or whatever it is, this is a bike that I personally would buy because I feel like it is the perfect balance. You've got the speed, you've got the maneuverability, and yeah, guys, it looks great. Honestly, I don't really have anything bad to say about the Suzukis other than the fact that they're a little bit reluctant to dive into corners. But yeah, as I said, guys, everyone is going to have different things to say about a bike. So that's just my personal opinion. Struggles a little bit to get into the corner when compared to other bikes. For example, compare a GSX-R 1000 to, let's say, 08, 010 CBR 1000s. Night and day difference. Those CBRs are so nimble, they turn on a dime, but then they don't have that top end power. Then go and look at the Suzuki 1000. Lacks a little bit of maneuverability, but is arguably the most notorious sport bike on the market. So yeah, guys, what I'm trying to say is it all comes down to personal preference. All of these bikes are going to have pros, all of them are going to have cons. As I said, guys, 36,000 Ks on the clock, not much at all. It's not too obnoxious either. You know, I must say I do prefer the bikes that are a little bit kind of not calm, but not obnoxious at idle. And then as soon as you start revving them up, they start making a lot of noise. And this is exactly what this bike is going to do. You guys can hear that at idle, nothing too crazy. I mean, we've had CBR 1000s in here that make your ears ring at idle. But then they sound pretty similar when you're revving them up. This, on the other hand, pretty mellow. As soon as you rev it up, it's gonna sound absolutely crazy. But yeah, guys, just while I'm letting it warm up, you know, overall in terms of performance, the power is there, the maneuverability is there. As I said, it's just the perfect middle ground. I will 100% without a doubt own a 750. For me, it's an absolute no-brainer. I think you've got the maneuverability of a 600 with the power of a 1000, and I mean, what more could you ask for? What more could you ask for? Okay, I'm gonna let this thing warm up a bit, guys. Give you a few revs, and then we'll kind of end things off over there. Alrighty, boys, let's give it a little rev. Not gonna go too much. It is a little bit cold still. As I said, pretty mellow. As soon as you start revving it up, then you can actually really hear it and get a good idea of what this thing sounds like. It is actually a little bit low pitch, I must say. Normally these things are a little bit more high pitched and a little bit raspier. But yeah, I think it all just comes down to pipe and your link pipe and all of those sorts of things. And yeah, all in all, guys, almost nothing but good things to say about these things. Otherwise, yeah, guys, that's it from me today. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Peace.